With the NBA season at the All-Star break, we have a very good vision of who's going to be in the playoffs and around what seeds they're going to be. So here are my predictions for the playoffs at the All-Star break. So for the standings, starting out in the East, number 1, the Cavs, 2, the Celtics, 3, the Knicks, 4, the Pacers, 5, the Pistons, 6, the Bucks, 7, the Hawks, and 8, the Magic. Then the West, number 1, the Thunder, number 2, the Nuggets, 3, the Grizzlies, 4, Lakers, 5, Timberwolves, 6 Rockets, 7 Clippers, and 8th Warriors. So in the first matchup, Cavs versus Magic. As I'm recording this video, the Magic are in 7th place. This is a rematch of last year's first round, and both teams have more experience in the playoffs now, but the Cavs have gotten a lot better since last year. I think this series could go 5 games, and I have the Cavs winning. Then the next series, the Pacers versus the Pistons. The Pacers have been an up and down team this season, and have been playing very well lately. They've won 6 out of the last 10 games. I think the way Tyrese Halliburton plays will determine how far they go in the playoffs, and he's been having a down season. Last season he was averaging 20 points and 11 assists, and this season he's averaging 17 points and 8.5 assists. And right now the Pistons have been playing very well. Going into the All-Star break, they're on a 4-game winning streak and have won 6 out of their last 10 games. And Cade Cunningham's having his best season, averaging 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. And Ausar Thompson has been playing very good lately. And this month he's averaging 14.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, with 2 steals per game, and is shooting 69% from the field. And overall, they've been playing very well. I have the Pistons winning the series in 6 games. Then the Knicks versus the Bucks. This season, the Knicks have looked very good with Brunson and Towns. Brunson is averaging 26 points and 7.5 assists, and Cat is averaging 24 points and 13 rebounds. And they've been playing great all season long, and have the 5th best record in the NBA. Then for the Bucks, they're having an up and down season. They started off the season very bad, but at the trade deadline, they did get Kyle Kuzma, but Giannis is injured right now. So I still need to see how that trio of Giannis, Lillard, and Kuzma plays together. But overall, they have a solid roster, but I still think the Knicks would win the series in 6 games. Then I have the Celtics versus the Hawks. I think the series wouldn't be that close. The Celtics have been a top 3 team in the NBA all season long, and they're coming off a championship last year. But I do like what the Hawks did at the deadline, getting Karis LeVert and George Niang. It does deepen their roster a little bit, but it would be very hard for them to get past the Celtics. I think the Celtics would win the series in either 4 or 5 games. Then the Western Conference, the Thunder versus the Warriors. All season long, the Thunder have been up there with the Cavs for the best team in the NBA. And Shea's been playing incredible. He's averaging 32.5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, on 52% from the field, and is averaging 2 steals and a block per game. Then Jalen Williams is also having his best career season, averaging 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And Chet recently has come back from injury. He's still working his way back on the offense side, but is still an elite defender, and it's going to be hard for anyone to beat them. But at the trade deadline, the Warriors did get Jimmy Butler, and in his first 4 games with the Warriors, he's played very good, and the Warriors have gone 3-1 in those games. And in those 4 games, Butler's averaging 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, and he just adds another playmaker to that team and opens up the court more for Curry. And I think they're going to have a very good second half and are eventually going to make the playoffs. I think this would be a very good series, but I think the Thunder would win in 6. Then the Lakers versus Timberwolves. The Lakers have been struggling in the first 3 games with Luka, but I think it's just going to take a few games for him to get fully incorporated into this team, and he's in a massive shooting slump. Like last night versus the Hornets, he shot 1 of 9 from 3, and with his first 3 games with the Lakers, he's shooting 5 of 24 from 3, but that shouldn't last the rest of the season. Then for the Timberwolves, they've been playing pretty good lately, and have won 6 out of their last 10 games, and that's without Julius Randle. But Anthony Edwards has been playing incredible in February. He's averaging 34 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists, and he's already had 3 40-point games this month. And I think they would match up pretty good against the Lakers, especially with them not having a great center now. And they've been getting good playing time out of their rookies lately, with Jalen Clark, Rob Dillingham, and Terrence Shannon Jr. And once Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle come back, they could be a big threat in the West. But I have the Timberwolves winning the series. Then the Grizzlies versus the Rockets. The Grizzlies have been having a very good bounce-back season. They're currently 2nd in the West and have won 7 out of their last 10. Jaren Jackson Jr. is having a great season, averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, over a block and a half per game, and just under a steal and a half. Ja's been in and out of the lineup and has only played in 32 games this season, but when he is playing, he's averaging 20 points and 7 assists, and they have a pretty deep deep team as well. I think they could go pretty far this season. But also the Rockets have been having a breakout season, but have been struggling lately and have won only 3 out of their last 10 games. And it has fallen from the 2nd seed to the 4th. I think they're going to fall to the 6th seed. But I think this would be a pretty good hard-fought series. But overall, the Grizzlies have some more experience, and I think the better roster, and I have the Grizzlies winning in 5. Then for the Nuggets versus the Clippers. The Nuggets have been the hottest team in the NBA lately. Going into the All-Star break, they've won 8 in a row, and have won 16 out of their last 20 games. And they just won the championship 2 years ago. Jokic is having another MVP caliber season, averaging 30 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 10 assists. Jamal Murray has been playing great lately, averaging 25 points and 6 assists in February. In his last game before the All-Star break, he had 55 points. Then Christian Brown has been playing amazing, averaging 20 points per game and 8 rebounds in February. And overall in the season is averaging 15 and 5, while shooting 57% from the field. And their other younger players are playing very good, with Julian Strawver averaging 9 points per game and shooting 36% from 3. And Peyton Watson's also been playing pretty good, getting them 8 points per game, but is injured currently. But the Clippers have also been playing pretty good this season, and have been very surprising after moving on from Paul George. They are currently the 6th seed, but I do think they'll end up falling down to the 7. But the biggest thing this season is Norman Powell's breakout. He's averaging 24 points while shooting 49% from the field and 42% from 3. And in the buyout market, they did add Ben Simmons, and he'll play some great defense for them. But it's just going to be very hard to beat the Nuggets, and I would have the Nuggets winning in 5. Then in the second round, the Cavs versus the Pistons. The Cavs always beat up on the Pistons, and that still stands for this season, even though the Pistons have been playing a lot better. The Cavs are 3-0 this season, and the first 2 games, the Cavs won by over 12 points each, and the third game was a lot closer, with the Cavs only winning by 3, and they play again on March 28th. But the Cavs have a lot more experience and a way deeper roster, and I think the Cavs would win the series in 5. Then for the Knicks versus the Celtics, this is going to be a great matchup. There's been a clear top 3 in the East of Cleveland, New York, and Boston. The Knicks have had one of the best offenses in the NBA and have the second highest offensive rating, 2 points behind the Cavs at 119.9. But the Celtics are still up there, ranked 4th in offensive rating at 118.8. But Boston is a lot better on defense, with them having the 5th highest defensive rating at 109.6. And right now the Knicks are 18th in the NBA in defensive rating. And it's going to be very hard for them to stop Tatum and Brown. But I still think it'd be a very fun series, and it would go pretty long. So I would have the Celtics winning in 7. Then the Thunder versus the Timberwolves. I think these teams match up good against each other. They each have good size, with Gobert and Randall versus Hartenstein and Chet. But I think it comes down to the Thunder have a deeper roster, and the T-Wolves do have some good players around Edwards, but I think he would have to carry them through the series. So I'd have the Thunder winning in 5. Then for the Grizzlies versus the Nuggets, I think this series would come down to experience and how much they can limit everyone around Jokic, because it's very hard to stop him, but if he does all the scoring and shut down everyone else around him, it would be hard for them to win. The Grizzlies are one of the better defensive teams in the NBA. They have the 7th best defensive rating, and they're tied for 3rd most blocks per game. I think this would be a pretty good series. The Grizzlies, I think, have the deeper roster, but the Nuggets are the better team, and I think the Nuggets would win this in 6 games. Then for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavs versus the Celtics, a rematch from last year's second round. The Cavs have gotten a lot better over the past year. They brought in their new head coach, Kenny Atkinson, and everyone's just been playing a lot better. And at the trade deadline this season, they got DeAndre Hunter, and that would help them out a lot matching up against the Celtics. It gives them more size and defensive versatility and lineup versatility throughout the playoffs. They could play very small with him at the 4 when either Allen or Mobley are on the bench, or they can go extremely big playing him at the 2 or 3. But Boston has just been very good lately, and I think it's going to be hard for the Cavs to beat them. But as a Cavs fan, I sadly think the Celtics would win in 7. Then the Western Conference Finals, the Thunder versus the Nuggets. This would also be another great hard-fought series. I think both these teams could clearly win it all, but I think it's going to come down to the Thunder have a deeper roster, and they're the number 1 defensive team in the NBA, and I think the Thunder would win in 6. Then in the finals, the Celtics versus the Thunder. Each team has an All-NBA player with Tatum and SGA, and each team has a co-star with Brown and Jalen Williams. And each team has a great center with Chet and Porzingis. So they're just very similar teams, in my opinion. But I think the Celtics would win this series in 7 games. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think the playoffs are going to look like. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Goodbye.